So, it has been a while, everybody. I recently returned to YouTube and I did a return stream a couple days ago if you want to go check that out. So yeah, it's been a pretty long time since I've released a theory or any video. I will be getting back into it, so this will be sort of my return theory. And I will be uploading whenever I get the chance this upcoming week, so look out for that. Now the topic of Blackbeard is something that has been discussed a lot, and many people have tried to speculate how exactly Blackbeard takes in multiple fruit powers, how he absorbs them, and I am going to try to explain it to the best of my ability, and hopefully arrive to a satisfying conclusion as to how he is able to do these things. Now the biggest question to many people is, how does Blackbeard take in multiple fruit powers, and how is he able to consume multiple devil fruits without inevitably exploding or dying? We know that through the intel of CP9 that there is no way for most people or any average person to be able to consume multiple devil fruits, and anyone who is greedy enough to eat 2 devil fruits will explode and disintegrate into nothing. However, this fact is clearly contradicted by Blackbeard, and we know that it shouldn't be normally possible, assuming that he is a regular human being, to consume multiple fruits. Now, a lot of people believe that Blackbeard is able to use the darkness fruit in order to absorb another fruit power. Perhaps he's able to use his darkness inside his body to store the extra power in a black hole. And while this might be possible, there are a lot of points in the story that contradict this idea. The greatest counterexample to this idea is what Marco states about Blackbeard in Marineford. When everybody's in shock about Blackbeard having 2 devil fruit powers in Marineford, Marco seems to almost expect it and blames it on the fact that Blackbeard has a very strange and unusual body. He even seems to imply that Blackbeard is not a quote-unquote normal human by saying that it is a result of him having a very strange body structure. If we take this quote at face value, it seems a lot less likely that him having multiple fruit powers is a result of the darkness fruit. Now this doesn't mean that the darkness fruit doesn't allow him to steal devil fruits, but maybe just that he can't absorb multiple powers through darkness alone. If this is some weird mutation that Blackbeard has, then we must try to figure out what caused this and why is Blackbeard so different from other humans. Maybe he was born this way as some half-breed of some special race, or maybe he was changed at some point. Blackbeard's knowledge of devil fruits seems suspiciously above average, and he seems to know a lot more than other pirates on the Grand Line. So why does Blackbeard know so much, and why is his body so strange, and how is he able to absorb multiple fruit powers? Now the biggest hint to what this could be is something Blackbeard has shown us before. At some point, Blackbeard had read an encyclopedia about devil fruits. This book apparently contained a bunch of different devil fruits and the powers they had, and what they looked like. He memorized this book and later discovered the darkness fruit. What seems suspicious about this is the fact that this devil fruit book that he mentions doesn't seem to be in the possession of that many people that we've seen thus far. However, there is one person that we've seen who has a devil fruit encyclopedia. When Sanji was young, he read this very same encyclopedia that was given to him by Judge, and he speaks about finding the invisibility fruit in this book. But since this book seems pretty rare, where did Judge receive it from? Judge, who is seen as a top scientist, was once part of a research team with Vegapunk that involved the research and experimentation on lineage factors and several other very important studies. It's very likely that Judge received a copy of this encyclopedia from the studies done in this research team. After all, we know that Vegapunk used the studies from this research team to experiment on devil fruits later on. It's quite possible that the origin of this encyclopedia that Blackbeard read was within the research team. And him being involved in this research team would explain his high knowledge of devil fruits that he has shown throughout the story. And this information is pivotal to his plans to take over the world. And coincidentally, this research team was heavily involved in researching and developing studies on lineage factors or DNA, which would later be deemed by the government to be too dangerous. What this is all pointing to is the possibility that Blackbeard was once part of this research team as a test subject. A group that is able to alter DNA would very possibly be able to alter Blackbeard's DNA to be able to absorb multiple fruit powers. If one person can eat one devil fruit, then it's possible that Blackbeard's body was modified to include multiple individuals. We see through the development of clones by Vegapunk and Judge that it's very possible to replicate human DNA, and to even allow the body to shapeshift or transform into other individuals. Vegapunk's creation of artificial devil fruits was a result of the findings of this research group of lineage factors. And as we know, the consumption of artificial devil fruits allow you to take multiple forms. And in the case of Judge, he was able to create children who could manipulate different elements as a result of their DNA change. So if Blackbeard's body was modified to contain multiple organs or multiple selves or individuals, then consuming multiple devil fruits should be very possible. And hiding under Whitebeard for multiple years would have been to conceal this information and ability that he gained from this research group. And of course, at some point he probably read the devil fruit encyclopedia that they had in order to enact his plan of being the ultimate fruit user. Now, what do I mean by Blackbeard being multiple individuals? Well, it's possible that since on his Jolly Roger he has 3 skulls, and since the Jolly Roger is supposed to represent the captain of the crew, it could mean that Blackbeard is more than one person. Even in Mocktown, Luffy and Zoro seem to reference Blackbeard as a they, whereas Nami doesn't seem to know what they're talking about. Some people believe that this is a reference to Blackbeard's crew being on the island. However, this is left pretty ambiguous, and the fact that Nami didn't realize this, whereas Zoro and Luffy did, could mean that Luffy and Zoro's instincts led them to believe that Blackbeard had multiple parts to his body. So for the purpose of science, Vegapunk and other scientists could have experimented on Blackbeard to create the first ever human who could consume multiple devil fruits. And through these studies, Vegapunk could have learned how to put devil fruits into different sections of people. For example, we see the pacifistas being able to shoot lasers that Kizaru's devil fruit grants him. In other words, maybe Blackbeard's body is split up into different areas that can use the devil fruit powers individually. This could be why his torso is so large and is considered strange by Marco. Even Shanks seemed very worried about Blackbeard when he warned Whitebeard about him and said that he had gotten his scars from Blackbeard. He even states that this was no mistake and that Blackbeard had legitimately wounded him. Shanks likely found out about Blackbeard's true identity before anybody else, and this is what resulted in the fight. And this is why he warned Whitebeard about Blackbeard's potential. Whatever Blackbeard's secret is, it seems to be something that he's been hiding for a long time, and I don't think it has to do with the darkness fruit alone. It is hard to say what Blackbeard being multiple people could truly mean. However, I do believe that the creation of the Blackbeard we know today was a result of the experiments of this research team. Perhaps one day this will all be connected to the sad pictures we have of Blackbeard as a child. And I think his backstory will have to be one of the saddest, yet mind-boggling stories of One Piece as a whole. Aside from Big Mom, her story was kind of weird. But tell me your thoughts in the comment section down below. Do you believe that Blackbeard is a result of an experiment done by this research team? Or do you believe that Blackbeard might be more than one person and that is how he has multiple powers? Regardless, thank you all for watching and I will see you all next time.